Okay, so the following is our first video into manipulating data in SAS. Now, hopefully you've already seen the first video about reading data in SAS using the data step, and so then we can go directly into our proc steps. So the data has already been read in, and let's say we want to take a look at our data. So we can easily use the proc print command, which we've talked about before, and then data is equal to hot dogs, and if we type in run, and run this set of commands, it'll print off everything. But let's say we don't want to print off everything just because it can make the output window a bit busy. So let's only take a look at the first, say, 5 observations. So if we run this command here, then we'll get the first 5, as we see here, 1 through 5 of the entire data set. Now let's say, for example, then we want to do only the last 5. So we can make a simple modification to this, and we'll set this to first observation is equal to 50, and then obs is equal to 54. And what this does is it tells us the first observation is at the starting point 50, and now obs, instead of the actual number observation, becomes the end point. And so if we run this will show us the last 5 observations. And there you go, 50 through 54. Now, in this case here, the data set is fairly small and easy to extract those particular pieces of information just by looking at the screen. But if we had a lot more variables, it may be a bit more cumbersome to find specific pieces of information. So let's say, for example, we want to only look at calories. So let's isolate calories specifically. So again, we use a proc print statement, but let's make a few edits to it. Again, I only want to see the first 5, and we know that they're going to be 111 to 139. Then you add in the option var, which tells SAS that I only want to print the data from the variable called calories. And then if you run this, then again, 111 to 139, there you go, the exact same thing. Okay, so then the next step we're going to talk about is a bit of organization. Let's say we want to sort the data. And let's say we want to sort the calories from smallest to largest. So to do this, we'll use the proc sort command. And like the proc print, we'll have to call data. However, instead of using the variable var, you sort by. Then you use the term calories to tell SAS that I want to sort the data in hot dogs by calories. And then if we run this, it'll sort the information, but we still need to print it off. So we come back here to our proc print statement. And if we run this again, then we will sort it from smallest to largest. Now, again, observation equals 5 means we're only going to show the very first 5 observations, which was 111 to 139 in the original data set. Now this now modified one, which is sorted from smallest to largest based on calories, is 54 through 76. Now please keep this in mind. Once I run a proc sort data step, and actually several other different types of proc steps, this will permanently alter the data set. So now hot dogs has been edited and is very different from the original one. So if you don't want to edit, you will have to create another data step to do the work on. So for example, if you want to do that, we would have to go back, run data hot dogs, and then you could do data, say hot dogs 2, run, and do set hot dogs. And what this will do is we'll create a second data set called hot dogs 2 using the original one, and then you can edit hot dogs 2. That way you leave the original file hot dogs unedited, unmodified, and in its original form. Now, in the previous one we did a proc sort on calories. If you want to do the same multiple ones based on first type, then calories, you'll just make a small modification here and tell it to do type, then calories. Now, if you run this, again, it edits hot dogs, so it's very different from its original file. And then we'll have to go back to proc print, but I want to show everything. So let's get rid of var, and let's get rid of this here. So now we'll print off the entire data set that was sorted by type and then calories. Hit run, and if we take a look at the data set, what you'll see is a bunch of beef hot dogs first, then the meat hot dogs, then the poultry hot dogs. But for beef, it'll start at 111, go all the way to 190, and then meat ones will start at 107, and then go all the way to 195, and then poultry will go from 54 all the way down to 132. And so these are some of the first steps on how to manipulate and sort data in SAS.